Students at Duke University walked out before Jerry Seinfeld gave the commencement speech. Isn't there a certain word or phrase for this? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about students at Duke University walking out before Jewish comedian Jerry Seinfeld gave the commencement speech. Now, there's a lot I want to say here, but first things first, I got to address the elephant in the room. If this was a bunch of kids wearing red MAGA hats, MAGA country accents, all that kind of stuff, and they walked out before a black speaker or any kind of non-white Anglo-Saxon Protestant speaker, including the Jerry Seinfeld, if this was that group, they'd be considered racist, white supremacist, Nazi, and of course, you know what they would say, anti-Semitic. That'd be the reaction from the mainstream media. However, that's not who was in the audience. We can assume it's Duke. Most of the audience is going to be a bunch of liberals, and the media thinks their cause for doing this is a just cause. They're so-called anti-war protesters, ABL, so how are you going to tell them they can't walk out and protest? That's what the media would try to tell me. But if it was other people doing the exact same thing, it wouldn't be seen that way. And of course, we know Jerry Seinfeld is Jewish and he supports Israel. He's been to Israel. Of course, we all know that. But is Jerry Seinfeld Israel? I mean, when you're protesting him, what are you protesting exactly? Are you protesting his support for Israel? Are you protesting the fact that he's been to Israel? Or are you protesting him being Jewish? I can't really call it because I've seen quite a bit of hostility against Jewish people for simply existing in a place like a Columbia, Duke University, Harvard, UCLA, etc. That's what I see. So the media will call it anti-war protests. I call it straight up racism. That's what it looks like to me. And if it's not that, then I can't tell. Do you think the audience at Duke really knows about Jerry Seinfeld's life and who he supports? All they know is that he's Jewish and he's not coming out talking about death to Israel, waving the Palestinian flag. I think that's all they know. And before I go any further, let's get into a news clip. And of course, I will link to it in the box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tensions reaching a breaking point at college campuses nationwide, with graduation ceremonies becoming the latest flashpoint for ongoing anti-war protests.
You see how they open this piece right here. This piece is about the Jerry Seinfeld walkout. But how did they open it on, what's this, CBS? How did they open it? They say anti-war protests. Okay, cool. Let's keep on going. Pardon me, NBC, same thing. CBS, NBC, ABC, M13, DNC, all the same thing. But I digress.
Over the weekend, dozens of Duke University students staging a walkout as comedian Jerry Seinfeld began his commencement speech.
I grew up a Jewish boy from New York. That is a privilege if you want to be a comedian.
After Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, Seinfeld posted on Instagram, "I will always stand with Israel and the Jewish people," and visited the country back in December to show his support.
Now, again, do you think the students in the crowd know all that? Do you think so? I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong.
Duke University releasing a statement writing in part, "We respect the right of everyone at Duke to express their views peacefully without preventing graduates and their families from celebrating their achievement." This walkout just one of many nationwide impacting end-of-year campus events. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators blocked entryways ahead of a commencement ceremony for Pomona College. The school had moved the event after protesters set up an encampment on the stage.
On the stage, they set it up in the encampment. Look, man, this is crazy. Look, imagine you're just a regular normie trying to go to school, trying to really become somebody and do something with your life. And you want to graduate in front of your friends, family, loved ones, etc. You got a bunch of morons doing stuff like this. I mean, what is going on? First, we had Howard University, parents acting the fool over the capacity limit kerfuffle. Now we get these mouth breathers on campus blocking the entrance to the commencement, setting up a camp on the stage, and then walking out because a Jewish guy came out there. I mean, what is going on? And I understand college campuses, these are places where protests happen, especially like UC Berkeley, California, which is right there on the screen. I get it 100%, but good grief, man. It's like, okay, I'm trying to get an education. I'm not trying to be a civil rights activist, or at least what they think is civil rights activism. But I digress.
At UC Berkeley, home of the free speech movement, dozens of students interrupted graduation waving pro-Palestinian flags and banners.
This wouldn't be Berkeley without a protest, so I get it.
Right, of course. But at the same time, can I graduate, please? Can I graduate, please, without you trying to make a spectacle of my day, of our day?
The demonstration later moving behind the main stage, where hundreds of others joined in. Dozens of VCU graduates silently walked out during Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin's speech.
1, 2, 3, 4, tell Youngkin no more!
This comes after police in riot gear arrested 25 protesters at the University of Virginia last week.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
According to an NBC News tally, nearly 3,000 arrests have been made on campuses nationwide.
Now, that's a good thing, the arrests. I think we need to have more arrests, and there needs to be stiff penalties, because a lot of these arrests catch and release. It's like going fishing on the pier. Okay, you get a big mouth bass, catch it, take a picture, and throw it right back in the water. But can we actually get them sent to the penitentiary, making big rocks to little rocks, or at least jail for more than an hour? Good grief.
In weeks of protests. U.S. News & World Report is out with a new survey today that says that 67% of students at top schools say anti-Semitism is a problem on campus. 38% say they feel unsafe. As for Duke, Jerry Seinfeld, his daughter graduated from the school. His son goes to the school. We reached out for his team for comment. They have not returned our request for comment.
Imagine sending your kids to Duke, and Duke is not a cheap school. I'm not sure how much it costs. And if you guys know, let me know in the comments. But I can just right now, as I'm speaking, guess at least 50 grand a year in state. I would say it's probably right. And if you're out of state, like I'm sure Jerry Seinfeld is, I don't think he lives in North Carolina. You're probably in LA or New York or both, but not North Carolina. I'm sure we're talking about $80,000 to $100,000 a year to go to Duke. Unless you play basketball, you're going to pay a lot of money to go to that particular school. And imagine you're Jerry Seinfeld sending your kids there and you get protested. It's like, okay, why would I send my kids here when they can't even, the student body is protesting me? Man, please, that's crazy. Spending that much money to go to Duke, man, ain't no way in the world. Now, let's watch some of the protests and then we can watch some of the speech. And of course, I'll link to everything in the box. I was playing this a little bit earlier. Let's get some sound to go with it.
Jerry is also serving as our commencement speaker today.
So we got quite a bit of cheers, more cheers than anything else. I heard a little bit of jeering in there, but I would say that's 80 to 90% cheers. Although we have these morons right here with the Palestinian flag. More than anything else, it's like, look, I'm graduating, so why would I mess up my own ceremony? I'm not trying to, look, if it's me and I'm graduating and I worked so hard, or I might have student loan debt, or my parents might have had to sacrifice, I'm not going to ruin my own day by carrying the Palestinian flag. That ain't happening.
So what's the big deal about commencement?
Now we're hearing some booing. I'm not sure if they're booing the people that are walking out or whatever.
Jerry's also.
So yeah, that's what's going on right there. Now let's keep on going. Here is some of the actual speech. I'm gonna play the entire thing though.
Privilege is a word that has taken quite a beating lately. Privilege today seems to be the worst thing you can have. I would like to take a moment to defend it. Again, a lot of you are thinking, I can't believe they invited this guy. Too late. I say, use your privilege. I grew up a Jewish boy from New York. That is a privilege if you want to be a comedian. Thanks.
Jerry Seinfeld is one of my favorite comedians because he's just so matter of fact with the comedy. It's effortless. He's not a clown. He's just a funny person. That's who I really like in comedy. When you just can talk, when you could speak normally and you're funny. That's what I enjoy.
If I messed up a funny story around my relatives, they would go, that's not how you tell that joke. The prostitute has to be behind the drapes when the wife comes in. You went to Duke. That is an unbelievable privilege. I now have an honorary doctorate of humane letters degree from Duke University. And if I can figure out a way to use that, I will. I haven't figured anything out yet. I think it's pretty much as useful in real life as this outfit I'm wearing.
So shout out to Jerry Seinfeld. I'll place the whole thing, his whole, I guess you would say, bit right here. The commencement speech, or the piece that I have right here is about 4 minutes long. I'll place that in the box. But yeah, I mean, listen, if I went to Duke and I graduated, I'm staying for Jerry Seinfeld. You know, like Chappelle or Seinfeld, one of these guys is up there. Yeah, Cat Williams, I'm staying. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to all the students who decided to walk out on Jerry Seinfeld. Are you anti-Semitic? Do you hate Jewish people? Why walk out on him? What's the purpose? Or is it not even about him? Is it about the protest? He was just used as a vessel to convey your message to get attention. I can't call it, but what I do know is what I said from the very beginning. If this was a bunch of Trump hat wearing white kids, white males, straight white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males, Trump hats on, anything that they did against somebody who is not in their particular racial ethnic group will be considered racist right away, no questions asked. But because that's not what's happening, all of a sudden we got all kinds of questions. Funny how that works, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the kids walking out? Not kids, pardon me. These are adults. The students who are graduating. What's your take on these students walking out on Jerry Seinfeld? Is it a race thing? Would it be considered a race thing if this was a different demographic of kids? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. It's funny how these things work in the eyes of the media. It's a protest. It's an anti-war protest because these students have a just cause, a righteous cause, and they're liberals. We're going to protect them. Flip the political affiliation, then it's totally different. And everybody knows what it is, which is why mainstream media, old school media, they're garbage, they're biased, they are controlled, and everyone knows it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.